Hello, and welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. We have our first data download of the anniversary, and that includes, as you can very clearly see, the super EZAs for Int Buuhan and AGL Super VEGITO. Now, I have already seen them. I know what they do. I think they are both very, very good. That's just happened to it. I've seen people already like trash talking on VEGITO, and I think that's probably incorrect. He is legitimately pretty good, right? You gotta remember one thing about these characters, right? Their super attack effects have not changed. So VEGITO still does this, and Buuhan still does this, right? Very mediocre super attack effects, because those do not change with Super EZA. But, so, VEGITO, he increases his own ki by 2, and increases attack and defense by 200%. When he does a super attack, he gets attack and defense 150%, which is, again, very, very good. Each time you receive an attack, you get a 25% attack and defense up to 100%, and critical hit chance plus 15% up to 60%. So he's basically guaranteed critting if you have like 25 crit on him. Actually, you only need 20 crit on him, and he will guaranteed crit for his entire time that he's around. I'm pretty sure crit is additive. I'm pretty sure it is. Don't fact check me on that, but it probably is. He gets 40% baseline damage reduction and reduces damage reduction by normal attacks by another 40%. So he has 80% damage reduction against normals, which is very, very good. He's taking 0 damage ever, right? And of course, he's countering again. When his HP is below 50%, you will be guarding against all attacks, and you will get a scouter for 2 turns, which is nice. I believe before it was like you had to be like 30% to get the scouter, which is like awful. When there is a super class enemy, attack and defense is increased by 50%, and all allies except for himself have 2 ki and 20% defense, which is, you know, decent little support. When he's fighting an extreme class enemy, his attack and defense was 100%, and all allies except for himself have their ki increased by 3 and their defense increased by 30%. I'm gonna be honest, people are saying he's bad. All right, like if we look at his stats here, right, here are his calculations. You can see people are trolling in the comments, right? He doesn't get up to a lot of defense. His max possible defense, as far as we know, is around 800k. Now, remember that he is on the Super Saiyan team, right? So he can get that massive 144 or 154% defense from them, right? And we do not know what 10th anniversary Super Vegito is going to look like and how they're going to look compared next to each other, right? We're not going to know. We're not going to know. But as of right now, this is probably where he's around. Again, this is with 40% support. He can get 114% more. So just keep that in mind before like making your judgments on him. And also, he is never going to get hit by like he's never going to take damage from any normals ever. Ever. Like literally ever. He's going to be a very reliable slot 3 character, and the only time he's ever going to die is if he gets super protect. And even then he has a scouter. So he's probably never going to die. Plus, in the event that like anniversary Super VEGITO has a scouter, then you're super not dying, right? So I really don't think it's that bad. People are kind of overreacting. Plus, he's a support unit. So I kind of like him. I think he's good. That's just my thoughts, right? Anyway, let's move on to Buuhan here. Buuhan, I do think, is comfortably better than Super VEGITO, but that's just because he seems to be currently in a better spot than Buuhan. Or than Super VEGITO, but we don't know what Super VEGITO's spot is going to look like once the anniversary actually starts. Because remember that these guys, they don't come out until after the anniversary has already begun. So the 10th anniversary, like Part 1 LRs, will already be released when these guys do drop, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, so Buuhan, he gets 200% attack and defense at the start of turn, 200% attack and defense when doing a super attack. He guaranteed does an additional super attack, which is very, very nice. He transforms a skill ball into a rainbow ball, which I'm going to assume that means he's going to transform a random skill ball. Or actually, skill, that's probably tech. Probably changes tech into rainbow, right? And then from 5 turns onwards, randomly transforms one of the other attributes other than tech into intelligence. I'm just assuming that it's tech. What's the easiest way for us to look at this here? That's one of these, I believe. Right. Let's see. Is it going to show me if it's like tech or not? Oh no, it just says transforms key spheres. I'm gonna assume it's tech that he's transforming. Which is kind of like counter synergistic with like. Oh, actually, really, no, it isn't. No, it really isn't, because Tech Buuhan, in his domain, he just needs any kind of orb. He doesn't really care what kind of orb it is. So it's not that bad, right? Where he's changing tech orbs, especially because he's already going to create tech orbs. And then this guy's just going to turn them into rainbows. So if anything, it's probably just going to end up being better for Tech Buuhan, but whatever. And then from the 5th turn onward, he's going to randomly change a different type of orb other than tech into int. So he's just going to create a bunch of orbs. He gets 40% attack, 30% defense, and heals 12,000 HP with every single orb obtained. So he's going to be hitting stupidly hard. For each rainbow key sphere he gets, right, he's getting 33% crit chance and damage reduction up to by 22% up to 66%. So to max that out, you're going to want at least 3. 4 gives you 100% crit chance, though, so that's also pretty good, which means you do not need to give this guy crit. Do not give this guy crit. Give this guy as much dodge in his passive as possible, because that's the only thing he's going to benefit from, because he's not doing that already, right? He will also be recovering 15% HP at the end of the turn. When there is a superclass enemy, attack and defense plus 100%, and all allies except for himself get 3 key and 30% attack. And if there's an extreme class enemy, he gets 50% attack and defense, and all allies except for himself get 2 key and 20% attack. I do believe that if both are present at the same time, that will pop both parts. It should anyway, because it just says when an enemy is present. Sometimes when characters have effects like these, you have to be actually like targeting the character. Also, my microphone is unplugged. Sorry about that. My cat is getting very rowdy. She wants to go to bed because it's late, but don't mind that. But typically, right, sometimes these are based on if you're targeting said super class, extreme class enemy, but this just says if they're there, right? So maybe it's going to proc anyway if there's like a super class and extreme class character. The easiest way for that to happen is if like it's a hit card, like Universe 6, right? Because those characters tend to be both, right? There's super class and extreme class Universe 6 characters, so maybe like unless there's something like that, it would work. Otherwise, you're probably not finding both of them at the same time. But you never know. You could. You might. Right? It's possible. But anyway, that's them. There is a couple other things that were in the data, right? That we now know. One of them being there's now new skill orbs. These are going to be the ones that are replacing the anniversary battle. Current ones, a lot of them got buffed, just significantly. So do keep that in mind that we're getting brand new anniversary equips for, looks like the 1st and 2nd anniversary characters. Porunga is coming back. And in addition to the 2 red zones that are already confirmed, we will be getting a blue zone. This is fantastic. How do you beat this? It looks like this is against the Z Fighters, by the way. Right? It's Super Warriors Assemble. I'm going to assume that's the Z Fighters, is what that means. So, and then based on, look, Dragon Ball Seekers and then Planetary Destruction, I'm guessing that the first stage is probably like OG Dragon Ball, and it's supposed to simulate you being like Demon King Piccolo. And then this one is supposed to be Planetary Destruction. So like, well, actually, no, it would make more sense if this was the Saiyan Saga, right? And you're supposed to be like Nappa, Vegeta, Raditz, and then this one is Frieza, right? Or Namek. And you're supposed to be like, again, emulating Frieza. So again, 2 red zones, a blue zone, Porunga, anniversary battle getting revamped, which means every single one of those fights is going to get updated. We don't know if they're going to be harder, but we're knowing that their stones are coming back and the missions are coming back for them. How do you top this? Oh, and we're already at 2 EZAs, 2 super EZAs, with 2 guaranteed LR EZAs coming. And then if you look back at the roadmap, we know there's more EZAs coming. This is going to be the best celebration ever. And Dokkan 2. Not that I really need to talk about Dokkan 2, but just remember that Dokkan 2 is in-game already. So, take it as you will. Things are getting very, very crazy. Just like, where did the tweet go? Just like this tweet says, 2 of the slots are already confirmed in these 2 slots right here. I said that too. Looks like we were all thinking it. I'm excited. Let me know what you guys are the most excited about going forward now that the anniversary is basically already kicked off and it's already looking absolutely fabulous. Again, that's going to be it for this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I will see you guys all in the next one. Things are just getting wacky and wild, man.